Knowing Cody the way that I do and the way that he approaches things, I think he's going to be, and especially initially, he's going to be wanting to walk out there and show people why he's the world champion. And
with that being said, do you think there's going to be multiple storylines that happen with him over the next year? I mean, I can't fathom him losing the belt before, let's say they take the belt off of him. I don't think it happens other than WrestleMania next year. If he stays the champion the whole year, do you believe there's going to be multiple storylines leading into the multiple pay-per-views that we have coming up that he's going to be wrestling against multiple different people throughout the whole year?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He'll have probably have 4 probably major storylines.
Yeah.
I would guess somewhere in that neighborhood. It just depends. You never know how something's going to take off.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times you'll go in a direction and then you'll make a quick left turn only to get right back to where you were at before. But I think he'll be busy. And man, his plate. There's so many people that make sense for him to work with too. You know, I mean,
We talked about how stacked the roster is.
yeah,
I mean,
the roster.
throw a name out there and you go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, you know. And like you got Seth.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be one of the first things I would think. You got Seth. You're going to have Gunther. Yeah, Gunther. Yeah, I mean he lost. Obviously, he lost the Intercontinental belt, but that's the sign right there. It's time to move up a level.
Yep.
They had to get that off of him, so it puts him in a different situation. So, I mean,
You've got Randy Orton sitting over there.
Randy's still sitting there. You got. I mean, there's a whole.
And Roman's
list.
not going to sit on the bench either.
No, Roman, I think, is probably going to take a little bit of time off. I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that run that he had is really incredible. I think he's going to take some time off, and then no telling, where that goes. And you got, from what I understand, Brock is not completely out of the picture.
That's what Triple H said.
So yeah, I mean, there's some hurdles he's got ahead of him to get back to 41. So
yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see his journey. He was like you really. I was really impressed with you actually for a second, but you didn't give me a second enough to let you know that was a pretty thoughtful question as far as being champion and being the chaser.
yeah.
I mean, you must have read that off somebody else's notes.
There's a lot of smart marks in the comments that are
is that
helping
what
me
you're
out.
doing?
Yeah.
You're going through the smart mark comments?
Yeah, this job's really easy. All I got to do is just read the comments.
Oh,
They tell
all
me
right.
exactly what I should be saying and what I shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
But no, I know that. I know that being on the top of anything, being the best at anything, it's Ric Flair has said it. It's easy to get there. It's just hard to stay.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost been the opposite for Cody. It's been really hard to get there. I mean, he
Right.
has, gosh, I mean, it felt like he was almost getting buried with some of the, the characters that he was having to portray and, that type of stuff. But he leaned into it. He did what he needed to do. And now he's come back with this American Nightmare that I think has, it's got a John Cena feel to it when it comes to the crowd. The kids are in love with it. He's got every kid eating out of the palm of his hand. The adults are into it.
Yeah. I don't know if Cena, because like Cena was hot and cold. Like it was crazy. Like one night you go out there, he'd get booed completely out of the
Really?
building.
I
Cena,
didn't-
oh yeah, he would get completely booed out of the building, and then the next night he'd be cheered like, and still selling more merch than anybody. But Cena was like, he was. When Stone Cold came along, and he's one of the ones that first made the anti-good guy.
Yeah.
you know, that's when it all kind of started flipping around. Like if you're, you know, you got to be a bad guy to be a good guy, kind of a deal. That may have started with me, but I don't count. I don't count me.
Some influence.
I don't count. I don't count me. But anyway, but yeah. So you never knew with Cena, like whether he was going to get booed or cheered. Because you'll have they would break out. Crowds would break out. Like one side is like, you know, we want Cena, on the other side, Cena sucks. You know, going back.
You were
and
getting
forth.
that was happening at WrestleMania as well with that too. Like,
yeah. So Philadelphia, yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Cody. Well, and you're talking about, you know, we were talking about being the chaser or the like his dad. Dusty was a great chaser.
Yep.
Right? He was always chasing Flair.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he won the title a couple of times, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But he was always, he was always having to overcome the obstacles. Oh, you'd have to overcome the Horsemen. He'd have to overcome all these different things. He had to lose a loser leave town match.
Yeah. Try
to say that 3 times fast.
And with a few happy dads in.
Yeah, well, happy dads, you're screwing up my dialect here. But I always thought, as Dusty was a chaser. I was a chaser.
Oh, yeah. You were a better,
Yeah,
I mean, no offense. I mean, the chase for you was much better than being the holder.
It's just, a lot of times, like my character was, I was such a dominant character. It's not like, as champion, like who the hell's going to beat him?
You were an Andre Giant of your time.
Sort of, yeah. But the thought was like, Undertaker's after the title. Whoa, what's gonna happen? And then
because then the other part is once you get the belt, it's hard to get the belt off of a guy like yourself, right?
Exactly.
And it's like who do we have on the roster that makes sense to be able to beat an Undertaker?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden now we got the streak going on at WrestleMania. We can't. Yeah, change titles at WrestleMania now, and it's like it can be tough there, right?
And then same thing carried over with me and Kane as tag team partners. Yeah. Like, who the hell's going to beat these guys?
Yeah,
right. So, it'll be interesting to see because you're right. It was a phenomenal chase. I mean, all the stuff that he had to overcome and everything else, and it'll be interesting. It really will. But I think he has the, I think he has the intellect, and I think they have the, when you have obviously he has the support of the people. He's got the trust and support of creative. So I mean, we'll see.
I was going to ask this later, but since you just said that, the crowd's going to turn on him eventually. You know what I mean? Like it's
inevitable.
It's inevitable, right? Like we're going to turn on him. We're going to, because Cody does feel like the good guy. He's Dusty's kid. He's the perfect guy. He's the underdog that overcame and won. And now it's like
perfect heel.
The underdog story is over now. He's the only place he can go, in my opinion. He's going to be a babyface for a minute, but I see.
Yeah, you see the heel turn.
I see a heel turn eventually, because it's got to happen. I think it's got to happen if we want him to be a long reigning champion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they will. I don't know that he would switch as champion. I would see. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know what the approach would be there, but I think he would be a good. I think he would be a good heel.
I think he's got.
He's got heel qualities.
Yes.
He has. He gives me a heel vibe.
Yes.
Like he could. I could see him very easily being smug and better than that. Don't anybody get carried away. That's all work, but I can see it. Like I feel it in the character.
I think I could see him being the rich kid. I'm better than you. persona. My daddy was Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
He was the son of a plumber, but I'm not. I'm the son of a champion. I changed things. He comes out. Cody always, he likes to wear the suits already.
Yeah. Well, and he took a turn on his daddy.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Right? Son of a plumber. I'm wearing $4,000 suits.
Yeah, my daddy couldn't do what I did. My daddy could never win the belt.
I'm getting hot right now.
I did something my daddy couldn't do. Y'all love my daddy? Apparently you ain't watched Cody Rhodes. Like, that could be, and that's something that has legs for a 12-month storyline as well. You go with something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he could carry that for a long time with that type of flip. But right now, everyone fell in love with Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Because Cody Rhodes was the underdog. Cody Rhodes was the babyface. Cody Rhodes was fighting an entire bloodline, an entire family, not just Roman Reigns. And the story of my dad didn't win it. I'm going to win it for my dad. I'm going to win it for the Rhodes family. We could all get into that.
Yeah, you
we all
feel
loved
that.
it.
It resonated with everyone. Yeah.
What's next now?
Yeah.
How does that character and how does that story carry on with someone else? If he goes and works, let's just, as a placeholder, let's say it's a Gunther. How does that work with a Gunther?
Well, I mean, obviously, Gunther wants what he has now.
But I mean, how does Cody's character play against a guy like that? You know what I'm saying? It's really easy against a Roman Reigns, in my opinion, to be able to be that character.
Yeah, but the thing, I think with Cody, he's always going to be a little bit undersized, right?
So he can carry that underdog.
Oh yeah, he'll still be able to be. Yeah, he'll still be able to be the underdog. Even you got somebody like Gunther's a pretty big dude, pretty big guy, pretty aggressive guy, right? So I mean, I can just see Gunther, chopping the crap out of him and Cody caving it. It's just having to fight from underneath and fight for insurmountable odds, because that title that he's fought so hard for the last 2 years is his now, and he don't want to give it up. So I mean,
and
it's all
Cody's very relatable. You look at Cody in the ring, you can see yourself, right? You can. Yeah, he's a guy that can look like just a guy walking down the street, really. I mean, like Drew McIntyre walks down the street, you go, holy dear God.
Yeah.
You see a Brock, you see a Roman Reigns, what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they physically really stand out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Cody could put a hoodie on and walk through the mall. And, he looks like an everyday guy for the most part, right? Super athletic and all that stuff, but I mean, just like a normal guy. So, yeah, I could see that underdog, like, that's me in the ring. He could play that character for a while against some of the roster as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what that's what it'll be. He'll be overmatched. He'll be overmatched physically, but this title means so much that he's willing to dig down, and I think he's going to have a really good he's going to have a good run.